Are you ready to spin the wheel? It's the wheel of free agency, and we're spinning to win it. Also, we're talking AFC and NFC. Should they or shouldn't they? We got that and much, much more. It's the Juice Football Talk Show. And you know what? It starts now. Well, good evening, Juicers. It's the Juice Football Talk Show. Kenny K here, alongside Trevor Salzman. Trevor, how are we doing tonight?
Doing well, Kenny. Kind of a slow time in sports right now, but I mean, we have the Olympics going on. We have a couple other things going on, but football-wise, I mean, so kind of slow time in football. Especially when it comes to NFL, we'll have franchise tags and whatnot coming up. That period will start opening up, and we'll see. Well, I mean, any more franchise tags really don't get used for teams, so usually deals get figured out. So very, very rare franchise tags ever kind of come about, but looking forward to getting into it. And I mean, again, this offseason, it seems slow right now, but boy, oh boy, it's going to be picking up here soon before we know it. But doing well, Kenny. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody out there in the posse is doing well tonight as well.
Juicers. Remember, it's the Juicers on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We call them Posse too.
Juicers Posse.
Sister show.
Yeah.
It's our sister show, brother show. We got Adam and Kayla Koppel coming in saying, good evening, family. Good evening, family. Thanks for all guys. Thanks for all you guys do. Let's go. Thank you for always supporting us. We truly, truly appreciate it. We love what we do here, and we do it for all of you. And let's get a big, big hello and big welcome to everybody's friend Michael Ronquillo. Good evening, Kenny and Trevor on the Juice. And we're going to do it like we always do. We're going to send Michael's given us 1,000 stars. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
We're going to juice it up for you. And we're going to do it with little white grape juice. And my friend Kurt Valenti's coming in. He knows how I like that white grape. White grape juice. It's a nice, refreshing drink to have on a Tuesday evening. Trevor, what do you got over there?
I got plain old water. I don't think I've had juice one time since I've been on the juice. I have a Coke near me. I mean, I don't know if you would consider that juice or what. But no. One of these days, I will bring a juice. I will bring some sort of juice, though. I just need to go get some. I keep forgetting, Kenny. You got to remind me.
Water's fine. You can say you put a little, water's fine. Put a little lemon in there, little spritz. But thank you, Michael, with the blue and orange, blue and white hearts, bottom of our hearts. Thank you for the support with 1,000 stars. My good friend from up north, fellow podcaster, you could catch him on Broncos Daily. Congratulations, Kurt Valenti. Broncos Daily, the new voice over there. They do all sports and all teams. And Kurt is now the voice of Broncos Daily on YouTube. Daily videos over there. Kurt, great job. Boys, exciting offseason in NFL. Saw some rumors today that Josh Jacobs can be a potential cap casualty. I don't see it personally, but if that happened, I'm all in. Talking about his Broncos and your Broncos, that'd be a nice upgrade at running back, Josh Jacobs for sure.
Real quickly, Kenny, to expand on that, the Broncos did show interest in Josh Jacobs before he went to Green Bay after he left the Raiders. So there's been interest there with this Broncos regime currently, George Paton, Sean Payton. There's been interest there from Josh Jacobs for a while. So if he does get cut, which again, Kurt, I'm with you. I don't think it happens. I mean, who else does Green Bay have really
That's
to
what we're
replace
saying.
Jacobs with? Yeah. But no, I mean, if he becomes available, I think the Broncos would definitely take a look at him.
Let's get another one in from Michael. Let's get your thoughts on this one. ESPN has the Broncos trading for A.J. Brown and NFL picks for Riley Moss and NFL draft picks. It's not a first round pick. I saw like I may
Second,
be
wasn't
off
it?
a second round pick in Riley Moss for AJ Brown and like a third or a fourth round pick.
I thought it was like a fourth or fifth alongside Riley Moss and a second round pick, wouldn't it? Because it was
It
just
might
AJ
be
Brown going
okay.
back. I
Yeah,
think
it's
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, in that
yeah,
lines. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know how wild I am about AJ Brown just in general. I just like again, is his mindset going to be in it if he does come to Denver? Because I think if you're the Broncos, the last thing you need is yeah, you could be very talented, but what we got to really kind of narrow this down. Broncos ownership, they value, and Sean Payton as well has value. Building a culture, a strong team culture. I know you need those outside of the box kind of guys. People are going to say, oh, well, look at Keith Talib, look at TJ Ward from when the Broncos won the Super Bowl, years back. I get that, but if AJ Brown can be content and he can be okay in the locker room, I don't mind that. Now you're giving up Riley Moss. That's also one of Denver's. I want to say blue chippers, but that's one of Denver's. Really number two cornerback on this team you're talking about. So that means Jahade Barron would have to step up pretty big. That probably mean that Jaquan McMillan, who is a restricted free agent, would probably be back as well. I wouldn't mind that deal. You're getting me closer. If I don't have to give up a first for AJ Brown, I would at least have to have that discussion. I think. I would like to kind of shoot for a little bit higher, for AJ, other than AJ Brown, just because of the locker room stuff. There's just issues with that. That's the only reason why I wouldn't really pursue AJ Brown. We'll see what the price tag ends up being. Maybe the price tag is lower than we expect. But again, you just kind of have to consider if you're Denver, that means Jahade Barron's got to step up big time in year two with Riley Moss being out the door. That's your number two cornerback in the secondary, which was a big strength for the Broncos this past season.
Want to get some comments in because got Rodney saying good evening, guys. Go Broncos. What's up, Rodney? Thanks for hanging out. He would go for Dobbs, Nakobe Dean, and Tyler Algier for his offseason free agency. And Denver Bronco Roundup Wednesday nights. We'll definitely be talking all Broncos. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night for Keith and Jody, and Trevor might be there too on a special Wednesday night. But
And
got a
Saturday
couple
nights as
more.
well. Saturday
And
nights as
Saturday
well.
nights.
Yep.
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 And
8
Saturday
p.m.
nights.
Yep.
I'm just going to get some comments in, and I'm going to tell you earlier, I had a podcast with my friend Paul Rosen, a Giants podcast, and I mentioned A.J. Brown, and he said, no way because of the character issues. But
Yeah.
Kurt's saying Brown in a 5, like you said, in 27 for Riley, 26 second and 26 fifth. And here, Kurt nailed it because I said the same thing. Difference with Denver, though, Brown will respect Peyton. That's the difference. And I told Paul the same thing on the Giants show I was on earlier. Brown will respect Harbaugh. That's the difference. Sirianni, sorry to say it, if there's any Eagle fans out there, clown. He's a clown. Dable was a clown. That it's that those coaches, some of those coaches out there are clowns. There's no other way to put it. And your high-priced players are going to lose respect for you. And A.J. Brown lost respect for Sirianni, in my opinion. So I would take a chance if that's the price because you want to bring Jahade Barron. And Kurt said this earlier to me. Jahade Barron is who you drafted to be a future corner alongside of PS2. So why don't you do it? But again, Denver Bronco Roundup, Wednesdays and Saturdays, those guys will be hitting it up for sure. But I'll just hit a couple more comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quickly, Kenny. I will say I think more the Jahade Barron draft pick was more of a Jaquan McMillan replacement because we didn't know, the Broncos didn't know certainly that Jaquan McMillan was going to have the season that he had, and so I think that was more of their mindset going into that draft pick itself. But I mean, certainly Jahade Barron can replace Riley Moss in the secondary. It's just a big jump from year one to year two. Just being asked to have a bigger role. And here's the thing with AJ Brown. I mean, my biggest thing is when he's not getting the football, how is he going to react? He does got to have some sort of team mindset. And you can say, well, Sean Payton going to want to put up with that. Well, he did with Michael Thomas. But again, does Sean Payton want to do that again? Michael Thomas was also drafted by Sean Payton. That was his guy. AJ Brown would be a trade. I mean, that's not a Sean Payton kind of guy. And Because you got to look back at the history of Sean Payton trading for these big time wide receivers. He's never done it. I mean, he's drafted and developed every single wide receiver, at least some of these bigger names, Marcus Colston, Michael Thomas. He drafted Jimmy Graham. He's drafted his running backs, Reggie Bush, Mark Ingram, guys like that. He had Sproles as well. And so it's just like, and Kamara. So all these guys he's drafted, the playmakers that he's had in the past, he's drafted. He's never traded for those guys. That's the thing. That's my biggest question. Is Sean Payton going to do that? Because he hasn't done that in years past, and he's been patient with this wide receiver room up to this point. They've not made any big splash in this wide receiver room, and it's been talked about for multiple seasons now. They've drafted and developed these guys. I just don't know that if Sean Payton is willing to pivot at that now, because a lot of those wide receivers, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, are Sean Payton guys. They were drafted when Sean Payton became the head coach of the Denver Broncos.
I get your points. I do. But I also see Sean Payton looking at it where, we have Bo Nix. We probably beat the Patriots, but we're probably not beating the Seahawks because we don't have that playmaker out there. And I could see them really taking a shot at a playmaker this year with some money, whether it's a running back, tight end, or wide receiver. Let me hit the comment board, and then we'll continue because Phil's coming in. But I want to say hello to Pearl, who's saying hi. Hi, Pearl. Good to see you as always. And Rodney would love Brown, but he's on the other side of 30 now. Now, I do want to bring this last one up for Kurt before we get to Phil. The thought was they don't want to pay Riley next off season when he's a free agent. Now, that's going to cost money. Riley Moss is a free agent. Barron's still on his rookie contract, is what Kurt's saying. And Barron has to be on the field this year, according to Kurt. So Barron would be he steps in. You're saving money there if you move on from Riley Moss. In a trade, you don't have to, in the secondary, you're a little less with Barron on his rookie contract. Phil McLaughlin, what's up, Phil? I'm going to get my juice ready for you, my friend. Good evening, Kenny and Rocket Man. Some good tight ends available. Who you taking? 200 stars from Phil McLaughlin. Phil, going to juice it up for you.
Yes.
Like I did with Michael Ronquillo. You get a little white grape juice tonight. Juice it up, everybody. Enjoy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Phil, very much for the stars. And thank you, Michael, as well. Everybody's been amazing so far in the posse. Juicers.
Juicers. And we got a fun show lined up for everybody. But let's answer Michael's taking George Pickens over A.J. Brown. But let's answer his question. Since it is the juice, I'll answer as a Giants fan, and you'll answer as a Bronco fan, because I do think the Giants have to do something with tight end besides Theo Johnson, who we have as our starter right now. Thomas Fedone, 6th-round pick, is the only other tight end on the roster currently. Daniel Bellinger, our number 2 tight end, and Chris Mannertz, our blocking tight end, both free agents. Who I would like to see, and I might steal who I would like to see, there's 2 of them. There's 2 out there. One, I might be stealing from Trevor, but I'm going to go Dallas Goedert. A, you can take him away from the Eagles. B, I just feel he's the type of tight end. He fits that Mark Andrews mold, that tight end that John Harbaugh likes, move the chains type of guy. The other guy, and I know Bronco fans would be totally okay with this. The other guy I would bring in 1 year, Travis Kelce. There's rumors around in New York saying that he may leave Kansas City, and New York is on top of his list. A, Matt Nagy, his offensive coordinator, is now the New York Giants coordinator. B, Patrick Mahomes may not play a good part of next year, if not all of next year. We'll see. C, he's going to be in a new marriage with his wife, Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift has an apartment in New York City. Is he going to want to play across country when she's not touring next year, and she's going to be able to go to home games? Is he going to want to leave her for a long period of time and be far away? So Kelsey would be my backup, but Dallas Goedert, to answer your question, would be number one.
Yeah, to answer your question, Phil, I mean, I've been on Dallas Goedert's radar for a while. I should say, he's been on my radar for a while. I just think he just complements his team very well. And you need the Broncos. What the Broncos need to do is clearly Evan Ingram. He just can't be your all around tight end. He's not a very good blocker. You can only use him in certain situations. And so he's just not the guy that you thought you're going to get with him. For me, I mean, you've got to go out there in free agency or try to trade for a veteran tight end. I would, again, Dallas Goedert gives you that blocking tight end, that all around tight end that you can have, and they can take some pressure off a rookie. Because here's the thing: this rookie draft class, Phil, anybody that has been a part of our posse on Denver Bronco Roundup, they know that I've been harping on the Broncos for not drafting a dang tight end. Draft a tight end already. It's been since Greg Dulcich. Draft one and draft one high. I mean, first 3 rounds needs to happen. Kenyon Sadiq, Max Clare, Eli Stowers. There's plenty of tight ends in this class that are going to be, versatile threat tight ends downfield that can be good blockers, and you can develop them, especially Kenyon Sadiq. So, and Sadiq, I think he'll go higher than what people think he is. Or think he will right now. But like Max Clare from Ohio State, Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt, you've got to be able to not only get one tight end, you've got to get 2 tight ends. This team needs to develop a tight end of first and foremost, and for once and for all. You see what the Raiders got with Brock Bowers. You see what the Chiefs have had with Travis Kelce. Heck, look at the Chargers. Oronde Gaddison. Kenny, remember last year we were talking about Oronde Gaddison how many times now? Denver passed on him. Go get your young, explosive tight end that can and develop him. Sean Payton's done that in the past. Watch for that this offseason. I think that the Broncos will, in fact, do that. They'll sign a free agent tight end of some sort, a veteran, and then I think they will double up in the draft and draft the tight end within the first 3 rounds.
And Phil correcting his question, he meant drafting, what you just hit. So Eli Stowers, Giants are not going to be in the mix for Sadiq. He's going to be first round, and we're not going to take him at 5. I love Kenyon Sadiq for the Broncos. If you can get him, and you got to move up a couple spots, like Trevor just said, you need to get a tight end in this draft. If you can get the best one on paper, you go do it and move up a few spots. Unlike you did last year with Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren being out there. Both of those guys are had pretty good year ones, so rookie years. So I would not be against moving up for Kenyon Sadiq if I was the Broncos. Trevor, want to move on to the agenda part of our show? Keep the questions coming. We'll stop what we're doing for your questions, juicers. So keep them coming. But we have an agenda, and the first part of our agenda is about the AFC West and NFC West. And a little take on words, a little game we're going to play. Should they or shouldn't they? Or they shouldn't, we'll say. Should they or they shouldn't? And we're going to go around the AFC West first. Trevor, I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
And the juices. A, should they or they shouldn't draft Fernando Mendoza at 1?
Oh, it's a tough question. I've been back and forth about this. I've said no for the longest time, but I think they should. I'll be honest, because you know what? I mean, you got to be able to take another shot at the quarterback position in the draft. When was the last time the Raiders did that? I mean, Derek Carr, and Derek Carr actually turned out to be a pretty dang good quarterback. You just hired Clint Kubiak as your head coach. You didn't hire Clint Kubiak to go and trade away your number 1 pick and go draft some defensive players. I mean, you need to. This Raiders roster is not ready to win right now. I understand that, and that's why they have a lot of cap space, and we'll get to that in a minute as well. But they need to be active in free agency. But yeah, I think they need to go up and they need to draft Fernando Mendoza. I really do think so. I've warmed up on them drafting him a little bit more, and him as a quarterback prospect. I don't think his ceiling is sky high by any means, but I do think he gives you a chance. And in a division where you need to. I mean, you have Bo Nix, you have Justin Herbert, you have Patrick Mahomes. Without a quarterback, I'm sorry, Geno Smith's not going to get the job done. Clearly, we all know that. So you've got to go up and get a young quarterback that you can build around. Fernando Mendoza, I think he can be that guy. I think he can at the very least be a Bo Nix kind of guy. I think with less mobility, I think he can be I would say I think he can be an above average quarterback at times. I don't think he'll ever be elite, but I think he can be above average to maybe well above average at times with his arm.
Yep. Pearl's saying should. Baseball season, spring training. I'm going to throw the curveball right now. The only way they shouldn't is if a guy becomes available in a trade in a Mr. Joe Burrow. You can give the Bengals the number one pick, and you can give them another 1 or 2 draft picks, whatever they demand, and maybe you can throw this next guy in there. My part B to my second question on the Raiders: they trade Max Crosby.
Ooh.
And now Burrow comes over and you make a blockbuster trade. That would be the curveball. That's the only way I'm not drafting Mendoza at number 1 is if Joe Burrow becomes available and the Bengals end up getting the number 1 pick and Max Crosby out of it. Phil Pearl said they should, and Phil's saying they should, but I feel sorry for anyone going to the Raiders. Laughing out loud. Second one, I just said it. Should the Raiders trade Max Crosby, or they shouldn't trade Max Crosby?
Ooh. Again, I've answered differently at different times with this. Max Crosby's 28 years old. I mean, if you're the Raiders, you got to be honest with yourself. When's your competitive window open? Obviously, probably not next year. So I think you got to at least entertain it and see what the value you get back from Max Crosby. I think you can at least get back 2 first-round picks at the very least for Max Crosby. And maybe you can throw a young player in there as well. So, I mean, it just depends on how far into this rebuild do the Raiders want to go. Do you want to trade a guy like Max Crosby away and get a haul picks back like the Jets just did this past season at the deadline when they traded Sauce Gardner, guys like that for multiple first round draft picks and early round draft picks. I mean, I think if you're the Raiders, it's got to be on the table. I really do think it seriously has to be on the table, and you need to get the most value back for these players. You can't hold on to players too long. That's something that I've learned very early on. If you hold on to players too long, their value decreases fast, and it can decrease very fast. So you got to at least got to be open to consideration for the Raiders. They have to consider trade Max Crosby, and just going to depend on how fast they want to go into this rebuild. You can, and maybe we're talking about next year. The Raiders are on the upping a little bit. With Mendoza, they're finally, a young quarterback they can get behind. So, yeah, it's on the table for sure.
Absolutely. Pearl's saying no. Phil's saying only if the Broncos get him. I like your thinking there, Phil, but, I'll do it as a Giants fan. I'll do one each for the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos for you. Should the Chiefs draft Jeremiah Love? Or shouldn't they? Or they shouldn't draft Jeremiah Love, I should say.
Great question. I mean, I would. I love Jeremiah Love, but I have an inkling that they're going to go the veteran running back route in free agency, and they may even double up too because they've had not much luck running the football either with Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco over the years. It's not it for them. I mean, you've got to be able to take pressure off Mahomes in that passing game. So I think they may double up, but I love Jeremiah Love. But don't be shocked if the Chiefs go the veteran free agent route at running back first.
Michael, I don't like this news he's telling me. Max Crosby wants to play with the Eagles. As a Giant fan, I do not want to see that attacking Jackson Dart twice a year.
Real quickly, Kenny, I want to touch on this too. So before we get too far, so the Raiders have $91 million in cap space. That is second most in the NFL right now, behind the Tennessee Titans. The Chiefs right now, as constructed, and they're going to have to rework their cap situation. They have negative $54 million in cap right now. That is the worst cap situation in the league. So what they're going to have to do is Patrick Mahomes is going to have to restructure his contract. Chris Jones is going to have to restructure his contract. You can move that money from the base salary over to signing bonuses. The Chiefs have done that in the past. They're going to have to do that. I also expect them to have some potential cuts. Right tackle Juwan Taylor, they can save about $19.5 million by releasing him. Mike Dana is about $8 million by cutting him. Linebacker Drew Tranquil as well, about $6 million that they could possibly save in cutting him. So I do expect the Chiefs to make some cuts and also do some contract restructures so they can get underneath that cap, because right now they're way over the cap and they have the worst cap situation in the league.
Wow, that is pretty bad. What's the Chargers cap? Because that's the next question I got for you.
Okay. They have $83 million in cap space. That is third most in the NFL.
Okay, so my question would be, should the Chargers, and I'm hearing some rumors, should the Chargers sign newly free agent Tyreek Hill? Now, the Dolphins are going to owe them money. The Dolphins are going to have to pay some of that contract. So,
I mean, you really don't need him with Live McConkey, in my opinion. I think they need bigger structural wide receivers. I mean, like a Mike Evans would be perfect there. I think they're in LA if he became indeed became a free agent. Don't count on it per se. I think with Harbaugh, I think they're going to try to address the defense side of the ball more and less than anything. What maybe they'll try to do something on the offensive line as well. They got their running back last year with Hampton, so I think they're good there. Gadsden's a young up and coming tight end for them, so I don't think that they want to block him. I think Tyreek Hill may be on the table, but I just don't know that he fits there with Harbaugh. Again, you're kind of talking about character issues with Tyreek Hill. I think Harbaugh I'm not sure he wants to put up with that. Maybe an AJ Brown to the Chargers. Maybe I think that might be more in play than I think Tyreek Hill to the Chargers.
Well, I agree, and I'm with you. Just keep in mind, Mike McDaniel is the offensive coordinator over there, so you might see a Dolphin or two head over there eventually to see with free agents or if anybody else gets released over there. I think another hyphenated name, I don't want to butcher it, he got released too from the Dolphins, but not nearly as much as Tyreek Hill would cost. For the Broncos, should they or they should not trade up in the draft for Jeremiah Love or Sadiq? Michael's saying Love won't be there at pick 30. And Phil is saying get Love. So what are your thoughts? Should they move up for Love or Sadiq, the tight end?
I mean, for me, I love both players too, and that's just the hard part about this. I think there's more at tight end in this class though than there is at running back in this class. I think Jeremiah Love is no doubt the number one tight end, running back in this draft class. Tight end wise, I mean, you have Sadiq, but I think you have other guys behind him that I think you can get in later rounds. If you can move up a couple spots here, Jeremiah Love, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And when I'm saying this arm and leg, I'm saying it's not going to cost you multiple first-round picks to move up for a running back. It's silly. It's never worked out for teams. You move up and you trade future first-round picks for quarterbacks because it's the most important position in the league. Running backs, teams just don't do that anymore, and it's never worked. Look at Trent Richardson with the Browns years ago. Did that ever work for them? Never did. And so I think if for the right price, I would move up for Jeremiah Love because I think he's that special for running back. I think this guy has a great possibility to be the next Bijan Robinson, who I compare him to. Again, don't take that lightly because you don't see a lot of running backs compared to Bijan Robinson. So I would say Jeremiah Love, but I'm not giving up a haul for him. If not, I think Sadiq, Kenny and Sadiq, I think he is more in play realistically, I would say, because I think Jeremiah Love will probably get taken pretty high in this draft. So I think Kenny and Sadiq will be in play. I think is likelier to be in play for Denver than Love. But I would love to trade up for Love at the right price.
If Love slips, you could see it. If he's in the 14-15 range and falls because somebody they don't want to take a running back that early. But a name to watch is the other running back from Notre Dame, Price. Trevion Henderson and Kayshawn Judkins had pretty good year until Judkins got hurt. They were both having good years. So watch for Price, the second running back. And if I remember, it was I think it was the game early in the season against Miami. They were using Price more than Love. And I was like, why are they not running Love, man? This is great. This is great for the Hurricanes. And Price got like 70% of the carries in that game and over Love. So that's a name to watch, maybe in the second round or even, a name to watch at the combine next week is Price, the other Notre Dame running back. A good friend Patrick saying, aloha, boys. Aloha, Patrick. Good to see you, my friend. let's do this, Trevor. Let's get through the NFC. Let's get through the NFC questions I got for you quick, and then we'll get our halftime break in, and then we'll come back with the wheel of free agency for the second half of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to that coming up. But I do have some NFC ones for you. Let's start with the Cardinals. Oh, we just talked Broncos. We did the AFC. NFC West. Should they or should they not trade one of their playmakers, Marvin Harrison or Trey McBride, for draft capital in 2027 with all these quarterbacks next year? I'm going to use your Broncos as an example. They come calling, Marvin Harrison or Trey McBride's on the table for next year's number one, not opposed to this year's number one. This year's number one and next year's number one, you get like a 2 in Harrison in return.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A second round pick.
A second round pick, which is a late first round pick anyway.
Yeah. I'm not ready to give up on Marvin Harrison Jr. yet if I'm the Cardinals. I think that he's now had a fair shake. It starts with your quarterback, Kyler Murray. That's going to be their biggest question this offseason. What are they going to do with Kyler Murray? Are you going to keep him around? Are you going for another year? Or can Michael LaFleur kind of try to keep things kind of steady for a year and then it'd be easier to cut him next year? Or are you just going to cut ties and Michael LaFleur is going to go with his own quarterback? I would try to keep Marvin Harrison Jr. Honestly, I don't think his value is very high right now, and you're probably not getting a first round pick for him. Yes, he's young, he's talented, of course, but we just haven't seen it yet. So I think you'd be selling low by trading Marvin Harrison Jr. Trey McBride, they just signed him to that contract extension. Again, I don't think they're trading him. It's hard to find tight ends anymore in this league, and he's one of the best tight ends in the league, in the whole entire NFL. So, knowing who Trey McBride is, very local, from where I'm at, I don't think that they move either player.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the 49ers. A lot of injuries this year. Couple free agents this year on the offensive side. Should they or should they not draft a wide receiver in the first round?
I wouldn't say wide receiver. They have the whole Brandon Ayuk situation, which has been a disaster for them, and they have Ricky Pearsall, who, to me, they haven't got involved yet. They have Juwan Jennings as a free agent, but I think he's probably back. If he's not back, then I could see them going the draft route. Probably not first round, I would say later on in the draft. But I don't think it's a top priority for them. Again, they got to get Ricky Pearsall. They got to get some value out of that draft pick first and foremost.
Fair enough. Rams, should they or should they not draft a quarterback somewhere in this draft? Stafford's getting up there in age. Their backup was Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Should they draft a backup young quarterback in the middle rounds or late rounds this year?
I think it should be on the table for them, 100%. I think anytime you can get a young quarterback and set him behind Matthew Stafford for a year. Matthew Stafford, yeah, he's playing next year, whatever. He's announced it. Obviously, the Rams, they're going all in next year. They want to win the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. And he's still, he may even play another 2 to 3 years, honestly, the way he's played this past season. But, if they have any indication that Stafford's done after this year, I do think they would try to draft a quarterback earlier than some may think. There was rumors a couple years ago that they were interested in Bo Nix at the time, and that's 2 years ago now. So, I think it's on the table for them. I don't know. You have to kind of be in the building to kind of get a good indication of where Matthew Stafford's at. Does he still feel like he has 2 to 3 years left to play, or is he done after this year? If he's done after next season, you've got to get a young quarterback to sit behind him. But if not, and he can play for another 2 to 3 years, in his opinion, then I don't think it's as high of a priority for them.
Yeah, I agree. Michael wants Trey McBride for the Broncos. Patrick coming in about the Cardinals. It may be time to look at Plan B in Arizona for quarterback. Hopefully a new coach and staff can figure out how to maximize Murray. I'm wondering if they move on from Murray, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, Patrick. It may be with the new coaching staff there. Maybe next year's draft class is going to be a better one. So I said maybe you trade one of those playmakers. Maybe McBride comes into play, Michael. And next year's number one for the Broncos for McBride. Sign me up. And
Yeah.
Pearl saying yes for the quarterback on Rams. I got one more for you, Pat. Trevor. It's about the Seahawks. Simple one. MVP Kenneth Walker Jr. Heard he may not be able to. They may not be able to do the franchise tag over there. Should the Seahawks give him a long-term contract?
I not long term, no, because running backs in this league are their lifespans are short, and he's had multiple injury issues in the past. He hasn't been able to finish a full season. I don't expect the Seahawks to franchise tag and really even think about it at all. Kenneth Walker. I mean, I thought he played really well down the stretch for them. And if he can stay on the field, he's fantastic. But he's got some issues in his game. Pass blocking is not his greatest strong suit. He's not really your complete back. He was just kind of forced in that role with Charbonnet going down. Zach Charbonnet, I'm talking about going down with his injury. So, no, I mean, I think they can replace him if they want to. Just all depends on the price tag for Kenneth Walker, which I think will be pretty high. Wouldn't be surprised if some other team overpays Kenneth Walker this offseason.
Well said. Two announcements. So first one, Michael saying the 2027 NFL draft is stacked. Patrick saying I would love to see him in Denver, but I am concerned on the pass blocking and injury fronts, like you just said about the injuries. First announcement I want to make is Trevor and I were talking in discussions for those friends of ours that have been with us for some time. We've been doing the Pick Is In draft show where we give you live 3-day coverage of the draft picks as they come in. Trevor and I are going to be doing the Pick Is In mock draft show Sundays. Every Sunday evening leading up to the draft, we're going to be live on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. The Pick Is In mock draft show Sunday evenings, most likely 8 p.m. Eastern time. But come check us out, hang out with us, make some picks, have some fun, and we'll talk everything draft with you. And, we'll have some unique twists on our shows for sure. So come check us out. The second one, I want to definitely mention our wonderful sponsor this evening, Morgan Trinkets. Miss Pearl, thank you for sponsoring our show. Morgan Trinkets, specialized in Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices for over 35 years. You can catch them online on Etsy by typing in Morgan Trinkets, or catch them on eBay at Pearl Heat, Heat. You can also see them live at various shows. Miss Pearl, if you're in the audience, if you're in the juice, if you're still out there juicing it up with us, please let us know upcoming show or shows you have, and I will read that in the comments. But check out our amazing sponsor, Morgan Trinkets. Miss Pearl will definitely take care of you. Tell them, in an email, in through a message. If you see them live, tell them you saw us on Rocky Mountain Sports Network, the Juice, and we said hello. Appreciate it, Miss Pearl. Thank you so much. Again, if you have any upcoming shows, can you please put them in the chat and I'll read it out loud. Trevor, you ready for the second half?
Yeah, real quick before we move off of this, the segment. So the Cardinals have $39 million in cap space. 49ers have $42 million in cap space. Rams have $45 million in cap space. And the Seahawks have $64 million in cap space currently. Again, contract restructures are gonna happen. Teams will free up cap space. There's ways to do it. And so these numbers can definitely change. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of want to throw that information out there. And Kenny, I have one question for you about the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Is Kyler Murray back?
No, absolutely not. With the new coach there, it's I'm coming in. I'm going to get my quarterback now. Probably be in 2027,
Mm-hmm.
but no. I
Okay.
can actually see somebody like Kirk Cousins going there for a year.
Okay. See, I actually have a different answer. I think he might be back. I think they're kind of forced in that situation because, and I say this because his dead cap hit this year, if they cut him, is $54.7 million. So it'd be a post June 1st designation, just like the Broncos did with Russell Wilson. They would have to split that $54.7 million up over the next 2 seasons to even move off of Kyler Murray. From what I gather, 47 of that would be in year one, and $7.2 million would be next year. The dead cap for Kyler Murray continues to go down after this season. So if you can just hold on one more season with Kyler Murray, maybe you bench him midpoint through the season. I mean, I just kind of think like where the Cardinals cap situation is getting, and then these numbers can definitely and will definitely move around with $39 million in cap space, and that's not a ton of money to take on that dead cap hit for Kyler Murray. But I think he probably survives at least one more season.
Okay. Difference of opinions. We'll see who's right, who's wrong there. Keep tabs on that because we got a game coming up where we're going to keep tabs as well. But a couple comments first. Patrick, and he's not a Bronco. He knows he's a Bronco fan, but my Giants will be an interesting watch this year. Kenny's Giants, me with the Giant hat on. Experienced coaches on staff and Harbaugh in charge. Yeah, very experienced. Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator, comes over. Greg Roman comes over, and the defensive coordinator from the Titans, Denard Wilson. So there is definitely some experience there. And quarterback coach Brian Callahan, former Titans coach, as the quarterback's coach. So
Wow.
a lot of offensive experience for Jackson Dart, which I love, Patrick.
Yeah.
And Michael, Seattle needs more money for JSN than Kenneth Walker. JSN's going to require a huge payday.
Just keep in mind that money won't kick in until next year.
Okay.
It won't affect this year's cap space at all, even if they extended JSN's contract.
Patrick wants to know, how was your prize?
It's amazing, Patrick. I love it all.
Patrick, thank you again for the for the coffee prize to the Super Bowl. Trevor came in first. Patrick, in his own contest, came in second, and our good friend Roy Osborne came in third. Everybody else was down the line. We weren't too far off, but you had the closest prediction, Trevor, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Patrick. That was such a wonderful gesture, and I love the prize that you sent. I very much appreciate it.
I'm ready to share the screen and put our game up. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, let's see. Let's get this going. So we got a game called Wheel of Free Agency, and I'm going to put this up here for everybody to see. Can you see it okay? You want me to make it a little bigger?
Maybe a little bigger. You can.
I don't know if I can or can't. Let's see.
Oh.
No, or that work? It's not working.
That works for me.
A little better.
Yeah,
that's a little better, right?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Well, when the name comes up, it'll be bigger. So
yeah,
we got the Wheel of Free Agency. We got offensive free agents for everybody to play along. We're going to spin the wheel. The name that comes up, Trevor's going to pick a team. I'm going to pick a team. And we're not going to have the same team. So we're not going to go. We're going to rotate the order. So Trevor's not going first every single time. We're going to take turns. So you'll see how we play along the way. But there'll be the obvious prediction on some and a bold prediction on some. So we're going to have some fun, Trevor. I'm going to shuffle it up and spin it if you're ready.
Yep. Ready, Freddie.
Our first free agent that we're going to discuss is going to be that 49er that you said, Jawan Jennings, we're going to talk about. I'll let you go first, Trevor.
Okay.
Jawan Jennings, where is he going to land in free agency? He can come back to the 49ers or he can be somewhere else?
Yeah, I think for me, I think he ends up back in San Francisco. I mean, he was a good depth piece for them. I mean, cutting 2 years ago, he was almost 1,000-yard wide receiver for them. So I know the free agent market's not the greatest, but Juwan Jennings, he's not necessarily the most highly talented wide receiver out there, and so um, I would say he goes back to the 49ers. I think he's a nice security blanket for them. If something would happen to Ricky Pearsall just has not been able to stay on the field, unfortunately. He was a guy that I was very high on 2 years ago when he came out. So, Juwan Jennings, I think back to the 49ers.
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye on the time, Trevor. We'll see. We'll do up to 10 of these, so, but we'll see if we can get to 10. But that's a smart pick. Jennings to the 49ers. I think that's the right choice. For game purposes, I gotta pick a different team. So when I did my homework on this, let me find him. Jawan Jennings. Yep, I'm gonna go. I got two choices here. It could be either the Dolphins or the Patriots, but because of the Dolphins situation money wise, I'm gonna go Patriots. I think Patriots could be a team that can maybe be picking up multiple free agents, offensive playmakers, and this could be the second of two wide receivers that the Patriots decide to go with in the free agency. So I'll pick the Patriots there.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to spin it again, Trevor, and I'm going to go first this time. We'll shuffle it up a couple times, and let's see what the wheel brings us. And we're going to go Brees Hall. And everybody play along. I saw Michael had Brees Hall not too long ago to the Broncos, so I think he's going to go Broncos there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm with Michael. I talked to Kurt and Kurt about this today. I think Brees Hall has got a ton of talent, just on a bad team, trailing most of the time this year, behind the bad offensive line. The talent is there for Brees Hall. I think you can get him a little cheaper than what you think. And Brees Hall would be a huge upgrade from Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Bidet, who's on the roster right now, and a J.K. Dobbins, who could be in the hunt too, and an R.J. Harvey. I think Brees Hall's better than them, and a different type of running back that that they would need. So I'm going to go Brees Hall to Trevor and Patrick and Michael's Denver Broncos and Miss Pearl's Broncos.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good pick. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I'm a little not as high on Brees Hall as other people are. But for me, I think he's staying in the AFC West. I think he's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. They had interest in him at the trade deadline. Again, Isaiah Pacheco's a free agent. Kareem Hunt's a free agent. They've not been able to get much out of those guys. You bring in Brees Hall to that offense, I think he immediately gives them an upgrade at running back, and a guy that they can use in that passing game as well. And again, they were very close to trading for Brees Hall at the deadline. Teams don't lose interest in players overnight. I think the Chiefs will be after Brees Hall once again.
Good pick. That's not a bad pick at all. Let's do our third one. Let's shuffle it up. Let's see. Trevor's going to be up first on this free agent. And we are talking Isaiah Likely.
Wow.
Getting some good names. We're getting some good names on this first week of doing this. I like this.
Yeah. Let's see here. Isaiah Likely. That's a tough one because a couple years ago, people thought, even last offseason, people thought Isaiah Likely was going to take over and be the tight end there in Baltimore for the Ravens, and they ended up resigning Mark Andrews. So Isaiah Likely, he's got to find a different home elsewhere. I would say, I'm going to go Tennessee Titans. I think Okonkwo is a free agent. Then they go a different direction at tight end. He gives them a little more upside. Big tight end with some speed. I just think he needs the time on the field. I think that is that likely to the Titans. It ends up giving Cam Ward another weapon.
I got two teams, but my number two team was your Broncos. That was my number two pick. My number one pick, he's going to follow John Harbaugh, and he's going to be on my New York Giants.
Wow.
I think John Harbaugh definitely likes Isaiah Likely, and I think he could fall. He thinks like his asking the projected range for him is going to be around 8 to 10 million. The Giants can afford that, and I think you know Theo Johnson showing that he cannot so far stay healthy for a 17-game season, missing a couple games each year. You bring in a veteran like Isaiah Likely, who's a candidate for a breakout season. I'm all for it, and I'm going to predict that he does follow John Harbaugh to the Giants. Our good friend Martin saying hello. I'd like to see him go to the Broncos, but I think he stays with Baltimore. Thanks for hanging out, Martin, and definitely play along. We're going to do a couple more of these on the wheel, and everybody else play along as well, and keep track of. We're going to keep track. Trevor and I see how many we get right. But I'm going to spin the wheel, Trevor, and we're going to see who we get here. Shuffle it up. Wheel is spinning. Which free agent are we going to talk about next? We're going to talk about a giant, a sneaky one here. Daniel Bellinger. Not the most popular name on the list, but a name I wanted on the list as a Giants fan. Daniel Bellinger, when we drafted him, second round, San Diego State, few years ago now. He's been in the league 4 or 5 years. Came on strong and then had an eye injury, which slowed him down. Has never came back to that full potential, but when you want a true number 2 tight end that can come in, be a red zone target, make a couple catches a game, get 3 for 30, but a guy who'll block and do all the dirty work for you, that's Daniel Bellinger. I'm going to go crazy here, and I'm just going to say he's going to follow Brian Daboll to the Titans, who's now their offensive coordinator. I'm going to go Brian Daboll, Titans, with Robert Salah and Brian Daboll.
Wow. Yeah, I like Bellinger. I think he's more of a number 2 tight end at this point in time in his career. I don't think he can be. I mean, he's still pretty young, 25, 26 years old. There's still room to grow. I don't want to count the guy out by any means, but I realistically, I think he's a number 2 tight end for somebody. I think he. You know what? I'm going to say this, Kenny. I think he stays in NFC East. I think he goes to the Eagles, replaces Dallas Goedert.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick there. I could see something like that happening. Our good friend Clayton coming in. Hey, guys. Smash that like button and share. Thanks, Clayton, for always reminding us. Yeah, if you like what you see, if you're on Facebook, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. Free of charge. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps the channel out. It helps get us noticed and gets us a little more publicity. So if you like what you see, give us a like. Give us a share. Tell your friends about us, and we'll have fun doing this each week with you.
And, subscribe.
Hey, subscribe is right.
Yeah.
Got time for a couple more. I think we can definitely get a couple more in here at least, Trevor. So let's see what we come up with. Again, I like this. This has been a nice variety so far. So let's see what this is. All offense today, by the way. We're gonna get Trevor's. No, we're gonna get Rasheed Walker.
Wow.
Lineman. Talk about this lineman, Trevor, because you're up first.
Yeah, Rasheed Walker. I mean, this is free agent tackle that I think is going to be possibly be the best, one of the best tackles available. I just don't know if Green Bay can afford to lose him. I do think they find a way to bring him back on a long-term deal. I think he ends up re-signing back with Green Bay, and they bring him back. Again, it's just hard to replace those guys up front in those trenches, and I think he's done a great job so far for Green Bay, and has definitely helped guys like Josh Jacobs out, specifically in the run game, and has done a great job, I think, keeping Jordan Love upright.
That's where I would have went, but since I can't pick the same team as you, I got a choice of 2. My 2 choices are the Saints and the Jets. I'm going to look ahead to 2027, and the Jets wanting their franchise quarterback in 2027, and they're going to go get their right tackle to protect that quarterback, whoever it is, and I'm going to tell Rasheed Walker, give him a nice contract to come play for the New York Jets.
Okay.
Might be a little off there, but we got to be bold on some of these. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go bold and look ahead to 2027 with my quarterback being protected very well.
Do you think that they have to move somebody inside because they have
Yes.
Hashanu and Membu
They'll move one of them inside. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably Membu. I think Membu could be better on the inside.
Yeah.
And build that offensive line. And I would bring Rasheed Walker over for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
Michael's saying he wanted Bijan Robinson for the Falcons. A lot of us wanted Bijan.
Yeah.
All right, let's give this another spin. We could probably do a couple more here. Give me a big name, Wheel. Give me a big name. You ask for a big name, you get a big name.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like predicting it.
Mr. Kyle Pitts talks about maybe franchising him over in Atlanta, but I don't see that happening. Kyle Pitts brings what? A one-dimensional type of – he's more of a wide receiver than a tight end.
Yeah.
Who can benefit from Kyle Pitts? I got a couple teams. I don't know which way I want to go here. I'm going to go AFC West, your division, not the Broncos, obviously not the Raiders. Chiefs are hurting for money. Mike McDaniel gets an added weapon over there in Kyle Pitts. I'm going to go LA Chargers for Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
I know they got Gadsden.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to go Kyle Pitts to the Chargers.
Okay. Ooh. I'll give two scenarios. I think it's likely that he goes back to Atlanta. I do think that they'll bring him back because they have nobody to replace him with. If he goes elsewhere, just because it's doing it for the fun of it, Carolina Panthers.
They could use a tight end.
And they need to give CJ Stroud, not CJ Stroud, Bryce Young more weapons. I know they have like Tommy Tremble and some of those other guys, but I think that they kind of you could make the case last year during the draft they could have went to either Tyler Warren or McMillan, and they ended up going McMillan, but they need to add more weapons. I think for Bryce Young, that's a sneaky team in the Panthers that they need to add more weapons for Bryce Young this offseason.
I just succeeded a point there because I do like that Panthers pick. I missed the ball on that one. Good pick. They do need an upgrade at tight end, and that's big time. Let's do another one. Let's see what the wheel brings us this time around. We are going to get, I don't know why it says Cade, but Tyreek Hill. That's Tyreek Hill, not Cade Hill. New free agent. This is a good one because we talked about him at the beginning of the show.
Oof. Is it my turn or your turn?
It's your turn first.
Okay. Ooh. You know, this is a sneaky pick, but I'm going to say it. New England Patriots. Tyreek Hill to the New England Patriots. He adds more explosiveness to that offense. You have Stephon Diggs, but who else do you got? Hunter Henry's fine, good complimentary piece, but they got to add something this offseason. Tyreek Hill being available, I think the Patriots are definitely going to be a team interested in that. And for some reason, they're a team that's not really mentioned. Like the Broncos, the Chiefs have been teams that have been mentioned, but it's weird that the Patriots have not been mentioned at all. Trying to go out there and get Tyreek Hill. So I think Patriots for Tyreek Hill. I think that would be a great fit.
That's a good pick. Good pick. I'm going to go a team that's going to get rid of one head case in a trade and is going to pick up another one in free agency. I'm going to go to Philadelphia Eagles because, again, the Dolphins have to pick up most of that money. So whatever, is Tyreek Hill is not going to cost you in the $20, $25 million range. It's only going to cost you a few million. I could see the Eagles trading A.J. Brown and doing something silly like signing Tyreek Hill. That's a typical Eagle type move. And if A.J. Brown gets traded, I like my chances at the Eagles signing him a little more. Right now, you're not hearing that because Brown's still an Eagle. But if A.J. Brown does get traded, watch out for Tyreek Hill going to Philadelphia.
Wow.
Michael says back to Kansas
Yeah.
City.
That's the
Pearl
most
said,
obvious one.
no
That's it seems
way.
yeah. It seems like that's the most obvious one. And I'm just not on unless he just goes there for like dirt cheap. I just don't know that I see Tyreek Hill back to the Chiefs. I mean, like I can see the connection and it's obviously I mean Andy Reid still being there and whatnot, but and it's probably an option for him, but I think he goes elsewhere.
Yeah. Let's do one more, Trevor, and then we'll get some final thoughts in. The show
Okay.
went really fast tonight. One more. Wheel. Give us a good one to wrap up the show.
Oh.
It is a good
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
Another Giant. Wan'Dale Robinson. And I'm going first, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this on Giants show earlier. His asking price projected is 17 million. His
Wow.
stats though last year, he had over 1,000 yards, 92 receptions, I believe 4 touchdowns. I don't have it in front of me, but I had it written down. I don't know if the Giants are going to be bringing that back. Now, if Brian Dable was there, for sure. But that's exactly where I'm going. I'm going to follow Brian Dable, Daniel Bell. You see it with every team, every coach. They bring players. So the Titans are going to see Wan'Dale Robinson had a career year in Dable's offense. Neighbors went down. He became the number 1 wide receiver, the number 1 target for the rookie quarterback, Cam Ward. Wan'Dale Robinson would be the number 1 wide receiver on that Titans roster right now. I'm going Tennessee Titans, and I'm very confident on that pick that he becomes a Tennessee Titan next year.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I love that pick because I mean, again, the Brian Daboll connection in Tennessee, they got to have something. They had Calvin Ridley last year. That was it. And Tennessee has the most cap space in the NFL right now, $104 million. You can bet they're gonna want to spend some of that money, this offseason, and definitely gonna have to on getting some more playmakers for Cam Ward. For me, oh, I mean, this is tough. I'm going to go to a team that just hired their head coach this offseason and a veteran head coach. I'm going to go Pittsburgh Steelers for Wan'Dale. They need somebody else other than DK Metcalf. I think Wan'Dale would be a good, nice complementary piece for them. And I think Mike McCarthy knows they need to add a little bit more playmaking to this offense. Wan'Dale Robinson to the Steelers.
I like that, Trevor. So we'll recap. Let me put us back on screen here. So Jawan Jennings, Patriots for me, 49ers for Trevor. Breece Hall, I got going to the Denver Broncos. Trevor's got him in the AFC West with the Kansas City Chiefs. Isaiah Likely, my New York Giants for me. Tennessee Titans for Trevor. Sticking on the tight end train, Daniel Bellinger, Titans for me. Eagles for Trevor. Rasheed Walker, the lineman for the tackle for Green Bay. Jets, Packers, Trevor. Kyle Pitts, Chargers for me. Panthers for Trevor. Tyreek Hill, Eagles. Patriots for Trevor. Wan'Dale Robinson to wrap it up. Titans for me. Steelers for Trevor. I think we had a nice first week of the free agency wheel, Trevor. I think the wheel gave us some good names to discuss for sure.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Looking at the time definitely flew with our topics tonight, the questions. Want to get some final thoughts in?
Yeah, and I mean, please, juicers, please give us your feedback as well. We just came up with the free agent destiny wheel couple days ago. So, I hope everybody enjoyed that. I think that was a nice little mix up for us, Kenny. I think that, as we get closer to free agency, free agency is just down the road and it's going to be here before we know it. We're just now getting to the franchise tags. And if teams are going to do it or not, again, a lot of teams just don't do it anymore. But we shall see what happens. This is the time also when players start to get released. We've already seen the first wave of that. Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb and some players like that getting released from the Dolphins, and a couple players around the league starting to get released. So we'll start seeing that more and more as well as time goes on. But no, I mean, we'll love to hear the juicers / posse members, just feedback from everything we do, and hopefully everybody likes our new wheel of free agent destiny wheel, I should say. But really want to thank everybody out there for watching, whether you're watching live or even after the fact. We really appreciate it, and please like and share and subscribe. Kenny does such a great job putting our agenda together, and we do such a great job, I think, putting our ideas together and coming up with the best show possible weekly for you guys. I hope everybody appreciates it. But again, just like, share, and subscribing, getting us out there to more fans, more football fans in total. Whether you're a Bronco fan or not, don't matter. Football fans, we talk a little bit of college football as well. Please get us out there. Please share and like and subscribe. We really, really, really appreciate it. And just again, thank everybody in the chat, the posse members / juicers, for everything you guys do. We do. This is why we do it. We do it for you, and we hope you love it. But I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. And as always, go Broncos.
Well said, Trevor. A couple comments, and then I'll get a couple final thoughts in some scheduling updates. Michael, Chiefs are going to draft Love from Notre Dame. They don't need Breece Hall. He wants Breece Hall on the Broncos. I get Ms. Pearl saying fun. What makes it fun, Pearl, is you and everybody in our audience hanging out with us and spending time with us, talking football, talking about what we love, and meeting wonderful people like you and everybody else out there in our audience. Patrick saying the wheel of destiny. I do want to say thank you to Miss Pearl, Morgan Trinkets, our wonderful sponsor. Appreciate that, Miss Pearl, helping us out here and being our sponsor. I want to thank Michael and Phil, our star givers tonight. One more time, I'll juice it up for you with some white grape tonight. Not wine. We got the regular white grape tonight. It almost passes as wine, but we just got the white grape juice. Juice it up, my friends.
This is a non-alcoholic show. Kenny's gonna try to not spit his drink out when I said that. Yeah. So perfect timing.
Yeah. But it is non-alcoholic. Truly appreciate everybody in the audience, from Patrick and Clayton and Martin. Scroll up here and get everybody in. We had Kayla and Michael earlier, Phil McLaughlin, of course, Rodney, Kurt came in earlier at the beginning of the show. Appreciate everybody. Go check out my friend Kurt Valenti, Bronco fans, the new host of Broncos Daily. Very excited for that opportunity he was given by them, and does great stuff there every day. You know him from my other podcast, K&K. Trevor and I got some fun, exciting stuff coming up. We're working on a new logo. Can't wait to show you all the new Juice logo coming out soon. And then for those who have been with us for the Pick Is In Draft show, starting Sunday, we're going to have the Pick Is In Mock Draft show Sundays. We're going to be on 10 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Mountain time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time for Patrick. And we're going to do a different one each week. This week, Trevor will be drafting the AFC, and I'll draft for the NFC. And play along with us. Help us take the picks. We'll definitely take your advice and play along with us along the way. So look forward to seeing, hopefully, all of you there Sunday as we do our mock draft Sundays. And, of course, here on Tuesday, the Juice, we'll be back next week with another fun-filled episode. Patrick saying juice, juice, juice. And Michael giving us the time, 9 a.m. for Broncos Daily. Thank you, Michael, for checking out Kurt's new show. I know he totally, definitely, truly appreciates it. Whoever goes on there and says hello to him. Until next week, everybody, once again, have fun, juice it up, and we'll see everybody next Tuesday.